Hi, and welcome to Teaching Tip Tuesday, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning at UWSP. Presidential elections can be stressful to faculty and students alike. They can also be amazing opportunities for instructors to connect their courses to UWSP's vision, to be recognized for developing, supporting, and educating students and citizens to constructively engage in local, regional, and global communities. There may arguably be no more fitting way to do that than to provide a platform in your course for students to consider how your discipline is related to issues in the upcoming election. The universities of Wisconsin were organized around the Wisconsin idea of bringing learning outside of the classroom to have impact on all aspects of society so that all citizens might benefit from what universities do. Producing an informed and engaged citizenry is directly tied to the public good espoused by the Wisconsin idea, and it's foundational to the UWSP vision of developing, supporting, and educating students and citizens to constructively engage in local, regional, and global communities. If you can help students relate your discipline to the issues associated with the election, you can help to fulfill both the idea and the vision. Because of the nature of public policy, nearly every discipline is connected in some way to issues related to the election. But when considering how to integrate election issues into your course, it's important to remember that you should do this only if it aligns with your course learning outcomes. After reviewing the GEP learning outcomes, I'm sure that courses in every GEP category could easily align with election-related themes. Also, most programs with dispositional learning outcomes related to how the discipline impacts society or decisions that people make should also align. With full acknowledgement to the Center for Research in Teaching and Learning at the University of Michigan, which published most of these ideas in the run-up to the 2020 and 2016 presidential elections, I offer the following insights into how you can prepare to teach during a fractious election season. Begin by finding alignment. Ask what role your discipline plays in the issues raised by the election. Your course may touch on the environment, science, medicine, healthcare, education, the climate for business, or any number of topics that are related to election issues. Consider which of the topics that you normally cover might require some special attention in light of the election to make students more informed as they approach the ballot box. Be familiar with what candidates, platforms, and parties are saying about this topic. Ask whether your students could gain greater understanding of the topic or of the politics of the topic by critically examining it, relating disciplinary knowledge to policies and positions. Consider whether assignments related to this election issue would help students develop knowledge or skills outlined in course learning outcomes while helping them to be more informed voters. Finally, think about whether there are diverse perspectives in your field about this issue and determine how you can maintain balance in presenting them. Next, relate the topics you've settled on to the Wisconsin idea and UWSP's vision. You should consider how your course might allow students to practice some of the fundamental, particular skills required by democracy. Some of those skills include thoughtful argumentation in which claims are supported by evidence, civil discourse in which those who agree or disagree with us are treated with equal courtesy and respect, critical literacy and the ability to detect and evaluate bias in text, discourse, or other media, fact-checking and the ability to evaluate the credibility of sources, active and empathetic listening in which the goals are understanding diverse perspectives, promoting collective learning, and advancing social goods, and appreciation of diverse perspectives and how different experiences function in sculpting our realities. Lastly, you should be aware that some of your students are disproportionately affected by negative rhetoric and policy proposals in this election. Campuses nationally have reported increases in harassment, stereotyping, targeting, and hostility towards specific subgroups of students since 2016, leading many to feel unsafe, unwelcome, or emotionally and intellectually drained. Chronic anxiety and stress of this nature can impact students' ability to focus, their executive function, and their engagement in courses. Fear, of additional harassment may affect students' inclination and ability to speak freely about their experiences and opinions. In order to ensure representation and to provide an inclusive teaching environment, it's incumbent upon instructors engaging in coverage of election issues to ensure that diverse perspectives on these issues are included in resources and conversations, especially the perspectives of targeted groups. If you're planning discussions of these issues, one potentially useful tool is to gather student reactions and ideas about the issues via anonymous answers to questions in advance. That way you can bring in some of the voices of those who are reticent to speak up during discussions for fear of persecution. Remember to prepare for tense moments in your classes surrounding different social identities by developing a toolkit of strategies for intervention in incidents of hateful or biased language. CITL will present some strategies you can use in a future election coverage video. Elections are teachable moments. By integrating issues important in the upcoming election into your course this fall, you can help fulfill the Wisconsin idea and the vision of UWSP. Next time, we'll cover some specific ideas for assignments that you might use in your courses. And that's this week's teaching tip, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning at UWSP. At CITL, we offer support for course design, learning activities, assessment, and pedagogy. Visit our website to schedule a consultation today.